On Billboard tonight, we learn about the legacy of Hull 2017, meet a local children's author, and hear from singer-songwriter Dan Halsey. Good evening and welcome to Billboard with me, Ted Stanley, for a roundup of theatre, music, art and literature across the Humber region. Described by Australian poet Peter Porter as the most poetic city in England, Hull has long provided an inspiration for artistic talent, and 2017 was a seminal year for Hull as UK City of Culture. But how will the city build on this cultural heritage? Tony Barker asked the cultural company's artistic director, Katie Fuller.
There's no dispute about, Hull being a cultural city already, but sometimes you really just do need that moment where there's the critical mass of both money and resource and attention and the media looking at you and people just being prepared to put that kind of spotlight focus on somewhere to just effect that real step change. So yeah, I think it did need it, and now of course it's incumbent on us to make sure that that wasn't a wasted moment and it continues to be built on.
Katie, this is a very different phase of City of Culture, Culture Company. How are you facing up to this very different challenge from the year you've had, which was just wonderful?
Well, you're right, it is a different challenge. It's about kind of consolidating what we learned from last year, looking at the successes, and it's fantastic that we've got the evaluation, the preliminary findings that have been published so soon, because now we can really sort of get under the skin of that and work out where we can take things forward and how we can build on that success of last year.
How much do you think last year reflected the sheer capacity of what you could do?
Everything that I know about audience did not prepare me for 10,000 free tickets to sell out within 45 minutes of putting them online. I mean, it's a good problem to have, believe me. I've never worked anywhere where I've had to kind of actively keep quiet about things because there's such a demand for people to come and see things. So it's a good problem to have.
You could have walked away after a great year to your next career in life thinking, I've done Hull, that's been great, but you've not chosen to do so. You've chosen to be Joint Chief Executive and Creative Director. Why?
Lots of reasons. I moved here 3 years ago, and people ask me now if I'm from Hull, and I say I am now. I moved here with my family, with my children. We've embedded ourselves in the city, and to have seen the transformation in that period of time has just been so heartening, and it's lovely to be able to stay here and continue to kind of to see those threads that we've started and to take them forward as well.
And what can the Culture Company do over the course of the next year? What sort of things are you looking to do that possibly different to last year, or maybe as good as last year?
Well, we're looking to, as I said, continue to work with that sort of same scale of ambition. That's what we've been able to do. We've been quite audacious, we've been able to surprise people, and we just want to continue in that vein. So I'm really keen to continue to commission work and keen to continue to work with some of those national partners who maybe came and worked in Hull for the first time and have equally fallen in love with the city as well. I think it's important, as Martin said when we first talked about the company continuing, that we see legacy as a collective act and everybody takes their responsibility in that. And Hull City Council have absolutely pledged to continue to support culture and also see that within the much bigger vision for the city's future as well.
Details of all the events forming part of the Hull 2017 legacy can be found at www.hull2017.co.uk. The Yorkshire-wide Back to Ours Festival is marching into spring with an action-packed lineup of entertainment for the whole family. You can find details of all the events at www.billboardtv.uk. Now, here with a look at what's and where you are is our guest presenter for Box Office, musical theatre star Janine Ridder.
At the Grimsby Auditorium, you can see the classy 60s group, The Drifters, on Saturday the 26th of May, the West End Music Hall Evita from Tuesday the 29th of May, and David Walliams' Gangster Granny from Wednesday the 6th of June.
I can't believe it. My granny's a jewel thief. Please let me help. Help me do what? Steal the crown jewels. It'll make the headlines of every...
Hull Truck Theatre have Michael Roson's chocolate cake on Saturday the 26th of May, a family open day on Saturday the 2nd of June, and Mr Darcy Loses the Plot from Friday the 8th of June. The Scunthorpe Baths Hall hosts the Knock Knock Comedy Club on Thursday the 24th of May, and on Friday the 8th of June, a tribute to Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons with Let's Hang On. The feel-good musical Annie is at the Riverhead Theatre in Louth until the 26th of May. The Scratch Night-winning play, Hymn, from the 7th of June, and the New London Opera Group perform Gilbert and Sullivan's Patience from the 20th of June. At the East Riding Theatre in Beverley, you can choose from Gilbert and Sullivan's Iolanthe with an all-male cast from Tuesday the 29th of May, or the high-energy dark comedy The Woman Who Cooked Her Husband from Thursday the 7th of May. And the Beverley and East Riding Early Music Festival runs from Friday the 24th of May with classical performances in a variety of venues across the area.
The very musical Janine Ridder. And still on the subject of music, Tony Barker went to meet local singer-songwriter Dan Halsey.
My dad, he's written and recorded songs throughout his life, so growing up being around him, that inspired me a lot. And then he also taught me to play my first few chords on the guitar, and from then I've just tried to play as many different instruments as possible. I learnt the piano and the clarinet at a young age, and this is where I am now.
What's a sort of Dan Halsey type song then? What do you write and what do you like to sing?
It comes more from, I'd say, a singer-songwriter folk genre, but also I like to write lots of different types of music. On my new album, there's various styles, from like that folk singer-songwriter style to more rock and more world influences as well.
Do I torture myself when I know it's not true? Ooh, it still gives me shivers.
Tell me about this album. What sort of songs are on it? Are they cover versions? Have you written most of them? And what inspiration?
The album, there's 11 tracks on the album. It's all my original songs, except for one which I wrote with a friend of mine from university.
Is there a particular song which is really special to you, which digs at the heartstrings in some ways, or is you, sums of you up in some way?
Yeah, the track New Day from the album, it has a very positive vibe. It's all about treating every new day as a new start.
It's never too late to start over. Cherish your 24 hours and make it incredible. New day.
I'm hoping to do as many gigs as possible to promote the album and to perform my original songs. So I'm hoping to do festivals, cafe bars, pub gigs. Anyone who will have me. I'm hoping as well to do Tribfest, which is a festival that me and my friend Sam in the duo played quite a few times. So hopefully you can see me at Tribfest in August.
You can find out where to see Dan and download his music from Facebook at Dan Halsey Music. After the break, we review the latest film and book releases and meet local children's author Stuart Spendlow. But now, here's the very talented Dan Halsey with So Strong.
Torture myself when I know it's not true. Ooh, it still gives me shivers. The thought of it brings me to tears. Alone in the darkness reflects the position I feel.
Welcome back to Billboard. Coming up on tonight's show, we meet the star of Legally Blonde, a celebrity guest reviews the new book releases, and Penguin Pig takes to the stage. But first, film critic Paul Lewis's choice of the latest movies. Lean on Pete, based on a novel by Willie Vlatan, is the fourth film by British director Andrew Haigh. In this touching coming-of-age story, teenager Charlie, played by Charlie Plummer, strikes up a bond with an elderly racehorse he is hired to care for. Discovering that the horse, Lean on Pete, is to be slaughtered, Charlie decides to take him on a journey to Wyoming in an attempt to save his life.
You won, right?
Yes. Look, if we're gonna be working together, you gotta get some manners. You gotta chew your food. What does your mom say?
I don't know her.
Other new releases include Brazilian film director Jose Padilla's 7 Days in Entebbe, Mark Mayer's My Friend Dharma, and our family choice this month is Show Dogs, featuring undercover police dog Max out to thwart a dog smuggling ring.
Why are there dogs in this meeting?
That's what partners are for.
What is happening in this town?
Let's take these smugglers down.
Viva Las Vegas.
I give props to hip-hop, so hip-hop, hooray!
Viva Las Vegas.
Hey! Oh.
Stop, Max, stop it! What kind of dog likes hip-hop?
Foreign language films Redoubtable and Lucretia Martel's adaptation of Antonio Di Bendetto's novel Zama are also worth a look. At the Hull Truck New Theatre, university student Joey Kennington follows Susan Sarandon in the role of not-so-dizzy Ellie Woods in Legally Blonde. Tony Barker caught up with her during rehearsals for the show.
I guess because I'm blonde and I could really relate to some of the stuff that was in the musical, and I'm a huge fan of Sheridan Smith, who obviously played it in the West End to begin with.
Have you been to see the show since, or seen the film since, just to refresh your memory?
Yeah, so I watched the film for the first time since getting the part a couple of weeks ago, and it just got me really excited to get it on stage.
Right there! Look at that tangible.
For those people who've heard of Legally Blonde but not necessarily sure what it is a dizzy blonde doing something?
Legally Blonde is about a girl called Elle Woods who follows her one true love Warner to law school, even though she's not typically a type of girl that would go to law school. And it's a really fun musical. It's a chick flick with a love story and hilariously funny.
Produced by Beverley Musical Theatre, you can see the 45-strong cast of Legally Blonde at the Hull New Theatre from Tuesday the 19th of June. Tickets are available from 01482 300 306. Local primary school teacher Stuart Spendlow is also a best-selling children's author whose beautifully illustrated books convey important messages to young children and their parents about safeguarding on social media. I met him earlier in the student library at the University Centre, Grimsby. Well, Stuart, welcome to Billboard.
Hi,
nice to see you again.
And you, and you.
Now, you're a local primary school teacher, but also your first book, Penguin Pig, right, was a bestseller.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Although it's an entertaining story, it's not just about entertainment, there's a message there.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole reason I did it, because I wanted to get a message about online safety out to children and parents, really. But also, make it entertaining and something that children would pick up and read, first and foremost, as a story that they enjoyed, but also the important message there, and hopefully that wouldn't be ignored.
And it's subsequently been made into a stage play.
I know, it's
amazing,
crazy. You just kind of, when I wrote it, you don't expect this to sort of happen. It's very bizarre.
And it's now touring the country, isn't it?
Yeah, it's touring again. It toured last year, and it's touring again.
You'll never guess where our adventure was. It was on the internet.
Since writing Penguin Pig, you've also since written another book.
Yeah, Monkey Cow. Monkey Cow was an interesting one. I had the idea At the very end of Penguin Pig, the little girl holds up a tablet with a monkey cow on it. Most of the magic is in the illustration.
I was going to say, how important is your illustrator?
Oh, she is, honestly, she's wonderful. I just love her to bits, she's amazing. And she just creates this absolute magic.
That safeguarding on the internet, I mean, it's such an important topic now, and it is becoming something that parents are concerned about and worried about. And you seem to have sort of anticipated that.
It was one summer when I was doing some online safety work for school. And I thought, hang on, there's a real lack here of resources for young children. And there was a lot for older children as well. You know, loads of stuff out there. But for young children that are using the internet quite actively at home and at school, there was virtually nothing. And I thought it's really important that we get those key messages out there.
Now, your books are available on Amazon and through normal high street booksellers.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to see the play, The Penguin Pig, I understand it's coming to Louth.
It is. It's coming to Louth in May. It's coming on the 31st of May. Yeah, it's so nice for it to appear in my hometown. It really, really is.
Good, well, it's great seeing you again.
Yes, and you.
Thank you for joining us on Billboard, and good luck with your writing and your theatre.
Thank you very much.
You can book tickets for Penguin Pig at www.louthriverheadtheatre.com. Unfortunately, Sarah Hunter-Carson can't be with us to share her choice of new book releases, but regular Estuary viewers will recognise journalist and broadcaster Hugh Richards. Thank you for joining us on Billboard, Hugh.
It's a pleasure, Tev. I'm glad to do it, and I hope you like my choice of new releases. Madeline Miller's novel Circe revisits Greek myth from the point of view of one of the minor characters in Homer's Odyssey. Circe, the daughter of one of the defeated Titans, is cast out by her family of gods to live alone on an island. There she learns the secrets of witchcraft and the ability to turn men into animals. When Odysseus, hero of the Trojan War, is washed up on her shores during his long voyage home, her food transforms his men into pigs, and she seduces their captain. He didn't seem to mind it too much as he stayed for a year. Miller's novel is imaginative because it moves the centre of an old story, one of the oldest, from the familiar male warrior to a more mysterious female heroine struggling to find her place in the world of gods and men. Be careful what she feeds you. Now, we hope that the law ensures we are innocent unless proved guilty beyond reasonable doubt, but our justice system contains a fair level of chance, caprice and random decision, as is revealed in The Secret Barrister, an account by a barrister who wishes to remain anonymous, understandably enough. The book reveals the challenges of life at the bar, defending a monster you believe to be guilty, explaining a long stretch in prison to someone you believe innocent, trying to engage a jury of bored citizens with short concentration spans, and often working as a criminal barrister for less money than a cafe barista. These stories reveal our courtrooms are full of heroes as well as villains, but you really don't want to be in the dock. Kate Moss is a writer of historical fiction, not a supermodel. Her latest offering is set in the south of France in the mid-16th century during the wars of religion between the loyalist Catholics and Protestant Huguenots. A young woman receives a mysterious document, she forms an alliance with a Huguenot convert, and they must escape the sectarian tensions of Carcassonne and Toulouse. As ever with historical fiction, the ancient details are dazzling and the modern parallels disappointingly apt. But set in southern Europe, the weather is lovely. Give us the boy and we'll give you the man, say the Jesuits. Boyhood shapes the future of great men who change the world. In Stories for Boys Who Dare to Be Different, Ben Brooks looks at the childhoods of important men, good or bad. He discovers what in boyhood defined the destinies of men who made history. From Salvador Dali to Barack Obama, his subjects clearly chose not to follow the pack as children. They didn't surrender to peer pressure or go along with the grain, the conventions of being a little boy. The book celebrates remarkable men whose individualism started young.
That's almost all for tonight's show. Next time on Billboard, we explore some of the craft activities available in the region and meet a doctor of English literature with a passion for comic books. Details of the events featured in tonight's programme can be found at www.billboardtv.uk. If you would like us to feature your own event on Billboard, you can email details to ted@estuary.tv. From everyone on the Billboard team, thank you for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you again in June. To play us out tonight, the very talented singer-songwriter Dan Halsey.